Hello everyone, I'm just going to jump in, I think I'm about a minute or two early. I'm just going to share this with my group. Oops, I shared it with the wrong group. That doesn't matter. It'll be fine. Oh, now I can undo it. Oh, okay, doesn't matter. Somebody will figure it out. It's just into my VIP group, so that'll be fine. Hello everybody, if you are watching. Hi Julie. I just thought I would come on a little bit earlier and talk to you about the brand new Butterfly Brilliance. It's a suite, but what I didn't realize until this morning, I'm so silly sometimes, I should read the information correctly, but some of the products in this new Butterfly suite are only for this month. So, hey Leanne, hey everyone coming in. So I'm just jumping in quickly, you get to see me today. So we're talking about the Butterfly Brilliance, which is gorgeous. It is a massive, massive, massive stamp. It's one stamp and it is just huge. It is one massive big stamp and it's like our background stamps, and I'll just explain that a little bit as we go into making our cards. So you get the stamp set and you also get the dies, which has got 2 sheets of dies. Thank you Linda for sharing. So we have the first sheet of dies. So this one here cuts out that entire sheet. So you cut out all 6 butterflies in one go. And then we've got 6 butterflies also that are very detailed and they are just gorgeous. And then also some little background textures and some little solid butterflies as well. So this one cuts out the bricks. This one actually cuts out little dots. And this one gives a, is it a crosshatch? That just gives an impression. So it just leaves little cut marks in your cardstock. I thought I must have thrown them out. I'd played with them to see which each one of them did. So these 2 items, the stamp set and the die, are an early release from, these 2 are an early release from the new upcoming annual catalogue, which gets released in May. Can you believe it? It's just come around so quick. Now, the 2 items that are only this month up until the new catalogue comes out is the Butterfly. Now, I had to look this up to see how to pronounce it. It is spelt B-I-J-O-U. Bijou is how it, bijou. I did look it up because I thought, you know what, I've had been picked on before for not pronouncing things properly, so I actually looked it up. So this is only available for this month. Hang on a minute, let me get to the. So this it's 6 by 6, and I'm just going to take them all out. There's 6 designs. Fruit Tingles just reminds me of that Fruit Tingles. 6 designs, and you get, there's 48 sheets in total. So whatever that math works out to be. Let's deal with that one. But they are just gorgeous. So, so, so pretty. So even if you're not, oops, that one's still going with that one. That one's really nice as well. And then you've just got patterns on the back. And still going. So that's a smaller version of the one at the front, back, and this one here, which is also really pretty. And the back designs are really, really pretty as well. So you get 48 sheets in total. So now I currently have a class by mail going on. The cost of it, is just the cost of the stamp set and the dies, and I will be giving you 12 sheets of the paper to go with it so that you can make your cards. Now also in the suite is Natural Touch Specialty Designer Series paper, and this one also is only available for this month as well. So it's like a wood grain, but can you see? I'm just going to cover my face there. Can you see that it's got like a little crinkled texture as well? So, and you can actually feel those a little bit as well. So it's got a little bit of texture and is very, very fine and quite thin paper as well. So it's really pretty. It's got a bit like a little bit of a glossy slick to it, but very, very pretty. So I just wanted to show you these items first. We're not playing with these items today, but I just wanted to let you know that these ones are only available this month. All right, I've got to, because I didn't read and I just thought the whole suite carried over, but it doesn't. It's just the stamp set and the dies that will carry over, not these guys. So if you're after the paper, you might want to grab them soon. But I'm just going to chuck them on the floor. But in my class by mail, you will get 12 sheets. So it's two of each design you will get as part of the class by mail, and that finishes on the 6th, so you've got 3 days left to get in, and I do have limited places because of the designer series paper. I can only do so many, so you might want to jump in quick and get them as well. I think that's all I wanted to explain to you, so I'm going to swing us around and get started and on our card, which I hope is going to be fun. So I'm just going to put my hand over the screen and swing us around. And okay, so playing with these two. Now, what I have done, and hang on a minute, I've got a bit of that warping with my light. Let me just try and switch that off. There we go. I've got a big fluoro overhead in my room, but if I put any other light on, I get that rolling sensation, which isn't good. But I've also got this big shadow from my phone, so I just can't seem to win with my lighting here. Okay, so we're playing with the Butterfly Brilliance, and what I have done, as I said, this is an absolutely massive, massive stamp, and you can collect all the pieces too. So what I did was I'm not going to stamp it for you now and cut it out. I've already done some of that. But what I did was, this is an A5 piece of shimmery paper, and I've just popped it in this way, and as you can see, it's huge. So what I did was I laid it down where I could. It does take up a fair bit. Hooked it up. Stamped it with StazOn because I'm going to do a bit of watercolouring today. So I stamped it with StazOn, and that way, I think my StazOn's getting a little bit dry, but that way I could stamp it, I think I did it 3 times to get a nice deep image out of it. So I'll just pop these away. So it will take up a whole thing of that, but you're not going to use all 6 butterflies on one card because they are quite big butterflies. And also, and then I cut it out with my, I cut it out with a matching die, because then you'll get a gazillion of these butterflies. So you'll have heaps left over. I used 3 of them. I had 1 left over from before, but also the paper, the designer series paper, you can cut your butterflies out of one of those sheets as well. So you get oodles and oodles of butterflies, and if you stamp some up, you can come back in later on, and it saves you a bit of time because you've just got a heap of butterflies already cut out. You can make a quick card. So, and I just usually keep them in with my stamp set. Keep all these little bits as well. They might come in handy. All right, so we close that. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of sponging. Now, I haven't cracked open my Stampin' Up makeup brushes. What are they calling them? Blending brushes. So I'm going to crack these open. They're white, and I didn't want to get them dirty, and I've already got some of the cheap ones, but these feel really nice. So I thought, right, let's crack them open and get 3 in a pack, and we'll give these a bit of a burl. So I'm using a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is 8 centimeters by 13. And I'm going to use a Daffodil Delight ink. Oh, I know, there's heaps of spares that you can keep. So I'm just going to I like to work on the side when I'm blending. And hopefully I will share with you a few tips. Now, I made my own cloud template, but what I didn't realize is that there is actually a die. Let me find it. it's got the big happy. It was pointed out to me. There we go. There is a die, whether you can see that. Let me try and get in the screen. That has got like a cloud down here. So I didn't realize that. So I think I might be gonna get myself this die, and then I'm going to make myself a template out of some of the window sheets that we have. But I just made this one up. I just found a template on, or I just Googled cloud template or something like that, and I just made myself one in Word, printed it out on thick Whisper White. The only problem is that if you want to change colors, and the ink is still, this is a few days old now, so this will all be dried, but if you use a dark color and then you go onto a light color, it will take, so if I had dark pink, which I've obviously used on here, and then I wanted to use yellow, it would sort of turn a bit orangey. So that's the only thing. But if I did it out of the acetate, then at least I could clean my window sheet and use any color I want. So I'm just going to put I do like to have things lined up, so I'm just going to line up my paper on the grid and put my cloud template down. Give this a bit of a burl. I do find that lighter colors for your templates do work nicely, because you get that bit of a soft gradient up. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just, after we've done this, I'll just grab I should have grabbed my old blending brushes out. I'll show you what I mean. So you get that nice little gradient going up. I love it. I haven't done a lot of clouds, but I do quite like them. So now I'm just going to move my little template up and over, so I've got a different variation going on. And then just sponge that on again. I don't want too much. That's probably a little bit too heavy on that side for me. There we go. And again, just move it over, move it up and over. I do want to try and keep it straight, so that's why I'm trying to do it like that. It's pretty quick. These blending brushes are really, really nice. It's laying the colour on quite nicely, actually. And then I'll go back to in the middle somewhere. So you sort of want them close together, and I'm just going around in little circles just because I've got that template. Normally I just go straight across, but I'm going around in circles just so that I can get those little brush hairs right into the template there. And probably one more. I'll probably scooch it over this way, I think. Okay, so you have that beautiful soft like harsh line by the cloud, and then it sort of gradients up, if you know what I mean. Now just bear with me, I should have got this out a little bit earlier, so just 2 seconds, bear with me. I've got, here's my pink one. So I just want to show you what happens if you use a darker one, a darker colour, or one that's quite heavy in ink. All right, so this is my melon mambo, and I've got quite a bit of ink already on my on my brush, as you can see. Now, if I go and ink it up again, it's going to be quite heavy, and when I go on, whoops, see, now how am I going to, that's really intense, but when I go to do the next one, how am I going to make it look pretty? It doesn't look so pretty, so you want to try and keep a brush that doesn't have a huge amount of ink on it. If I took a fair bit of that ink off and then went on, it's probably going to be, it's getting better. So you want a fairly dry brush is what I'm getting at, so that you don't end up with that, because I think the subtle is probably a lot nicer. And again, if I was wanting to go into yellow now after using this template, it would take the pink into my yellow, and it would also mucky up my brush, but those brushes are really lovely. Okay, I think I'm done explaining that. I'll just put them behind me. Now I am, get rid of them. Okay, so now we want to move on to our butterflies, and I have actually stamped and cut some of these out already. So I will show you what I'm going to do, and I'll be using our water painters, and I'll probably just use the fine one. So let me come in a little bit for the colouring if I can. Here we go, move up so I'm in your screen. Okay, so I'm using Flirty Flamingo and also the Daffodil Delight, and I have already popped a drop of ink into each one. You can squeeze the lids, but I was finding I think I need to re-ink some of my my ink pads to get a little bit more ink going on with them. So I just popped a drop of re-inker in there. I'm using the fine brush, and I just want to squeeze and get a little bit of water happening. Okay, get that all nice and inked up. So now I'm just going to start with his body and paint that. Now I'm just going to swing around, and from the center I'm going to just flick out using a fairly light hand as well. So that's why with the quite the watery little palette there that I've got going. And again, just want to flick that colour. Okay, so I end up looking like that. Now, because I've got a lot of pink on my brush here, I'm just going to make sure that I can get most of that off. So just squeezing the water through and wiping it off. Okay, and then we want to come in with the yellow, and I'm going to start, oh, there's a spider on my table. I'm going to just put a little bit of water in my yellow, and then starting from the outside, I'm going to flick that in towards the pink. So this is one of my favourite ways of colouring butterflies, I think. Okay, and then swing that one around. And this is the technique that I use in one of my cards for the class by mail as well. Okay, now again I'm just going to squeeze and get all that yellow out. You can see these new aqua painters seem to draw up quite a bit of colour into the brush. So I've finished with my yellow. Now I'm just going to come over one more time with my Flirty Flamingo, but I'm actually going to pick up some of the deep colour here. And that way I can darken his body. You could leave it like that if you wanted to, but I'm actually going to re-go over the top, and then where my two colours meet, I'll get a nice little orangey, just a little orange blend going on there. And again, just bring that out. So it's sort of, yeah, Lois, I think you might like this because it's colouring, but it's not like intense colouring, it's just, and it's quick. So, and if you want, you can just squeeze a bit of water and you can go over those lines if you want a little bit more orange. And I always like it nice and dark, so I'm just going to go over that one more time. And because you're working on the shimmery card, you do have a little bit of playtime with that, so you can go over it a couple of times if you wanted to. So I have done a few in advance. So I have got my three, if I can pick them up, I have got my 3 butterflies all in the same. So there we go. So I just need to let this one dry a little bit. The other ones are flattened out nicely because they've dried. I just did them this morning. So we can prep the rest of our card while we are waiting. So this one was 8 centimeters by 13. This is 8.5 by 13. So they are going to sit nicely. Where's my snail? Seal. I keep calling it snail even after all this time. I still keep calling it snail. My seal. So I'm just going to line that up. Now I do have another video over on my YouTube channel which shows a little bit more about blending, just straight blending and then flicking of water. If you're interested, you can watch that. Okay, so that's easy. It's a fairly easy layout, this one. So 10.5 centimeters by 26, scored at 13 and folded. And then again, that is just going to go straight down onto my card front. Plenty of that. I thought I was going to run out, so I'm just going to pop that straight down. Again, very simple. And I'm just going to trim the bottom of that off ever so slightly. It's probably not enough. Let's go again. There we go. Now my base is probably, yeah, my base is overhanging now. Now I can see that, but at least when I open my card, that'll be flat. Okay, now the rest of my assembly, I do believe, is just using dimensionals. So let's get these guys turned over. And I'm just going to pop one in the middle. These ones are a little bit bigger, so I'll probably pop two. Oh no. Maybe I'll put a mini now because I've moved it. There we go. And I'm just going to fold their little wings out the other way and then just lay these guys in. Actually, what I probably should do first is put my sentiment so I know where I can actually put my butterflies. So using the, I've done this ahead of time as well, so you don't have to watch me fussy cut. You know what, I'm still zoomed in. That's probably not good. There we go. I'll pull back a little bit. I'm using the Perennials because I love the happy, but I love fussy cutting the happy, and there should be a die with that, but they didn't design one, so I have done them already. Oh, good, Amanda, she's ordered the butterflies. They're so pretty. I'm not a butterfly person, but I love these. So I've stamped my happy and my birthday in Flirty Flamingo, and I fussy cut my happy. So I am going to put dimensionals on these ones. I'm going to use the mini ones. I perhaps should have done this ahead of time as well, but some things I forget. At least it doesn't take too long. And one in there, and then just two. There we go. So I'm going to put these guys down first, I think. I'll leave them situated on there so I know roughly where I'm going. Oops. Stay. Okay, so let go. So my happy. And we've only used 2 colours of cardstock, 2 ink pads, so it's pretty simple. But, okay, happy birthday. And then I can just pop these down. You can give them a bit more of a fold if you want.